In late 2022, Kanye West went a little crazy.
Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler.
Even to the point that he made radio host Alex Jones look like a centrist.
Seriously, I've really studied a lot of history, plus I had family that was there. And so, I don't think Hitler was a good guy.
And yeah, that really was Kanye West. I have no idea why he was wearing a terrorist-style balaclava. Faced with this extreme situation, in October 2022, Adidas terminated their partnership with the rapper's clothing brand, Yeezy. Yeezy had accounted for between 7 and 10% of Adidas' sales in 2022. The breakup left $500 million worth of products sitting unsold. Crazy thing is, demand actually surged following the breakup. Yeezys remained one of the top 3 brands on the reseller's site, Impossible Kicks, for example. It seems people don't really care about the political views of the person who designed their sneakers.
There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler.
Yeah, I was surprised at that too. But anyway, there are now rumors on the internet that Adidas may get back in partnership with Kanye West, however unlikely that may seem. So let's delve into this and look at the history of the partnership, Adidas' own Nazi past, and how much money is on the table. This is Dirty Money. In February 2015, the first season of the Yeezy clothing line made its debut with a star-studded fashion show. The clothing line, and especially the sneakers, were a success, and by 2018, the Yeezy line accounted for $1.2 billion in annual sales for Adidas. $1.3 billion by 2019. It had become a brand to challenge even the Nike Air Jordan collaboration. Kanye was receiving an 11% royalty from all the sales, which netted him $140 million in 2019 alone. And it was enough for Forbes magazine, after much pestering and annoying text messages from Kanye, to begrudgingly look into the Yeezy company and eventually add him to their billionaires list. The subtitle of their article was somewhat passive-aggressive. But anyway, Forbes' estimate for his net worth in the end came in at $1.3 billion. And life was good for Kanye. He bought a $14 million ranch in Wyoming, a $500,000 tank to drive around his $14 million ranch in, and a $57 million minimalist beach house in Malibu. But in 2022, it all started to fall apart for Kanye. Trouble started when he decided to post remarks that seemed to be anti-Semitic on Twitter, and he was promptly suspended. But then he was welcomed back by Elon Musk, a champion of free speech, after he finalized his takeover of the company. But he then went on to criticize the Jewish media on the Drink Champs podcast.
Because the Jewish media was already aligned with an agenda with the left, with the Chinese.
And intentionally tested the relationship with Adidas.
The thing about it, me and Adidas, is like, I could literally say anti-Semitic shit and they can't drop me.
And guess what? They dropped him. Adidas decided that their partnership, which was already under review at that stage, would officially end, and Ye lost his billionaire status, which had been tied to the value of his Yeezy brand, which was pretty much inseparable from Adidas. If this wasn't enough, Kanye then proceeded to test the limits of free speech on Twitter with this image of a swastika inside the Star of David. And that proved too much even for Elon Musk, who suspended him again. Now the crazy thing is, Adidas is a German company which has its own Nazi background. It was started in 1924 by Adolf Dassler and his brothers. At that time, it was called the Dassler Brothers Shoe Factory. The Dassler brothers all joined the Nazi Party in 1933, just after Hitler came to power, and they would sign off on letters with Hail Hitler. Their company supplied athletic equipment to the Hitler Youth Movement, and many athletes at the 1936 Olympics in Germany wore Dassler shoes. And it wasn't just Germans. Here is American long jumper Jesse Owens in Dassler-studded sneakers. During the war, their factory, under the direction of the Nazi government, was converted to produce weapons such as this grenade launcher, and even employed the forced labor of Soviet prisoners of war. After World War II, Adolf's brother, Rudolf, was arrested by US troops on suspicion he worked for the Nazi Secret Service. The factory was almost blown up, but apparently Adolf's wife managed to convince the Americans it was still merely a shoe factory. A rift was driven between Adolf and his brother as each tried to save themselves, and Adolf started his own venture named after himself, Adolf Dassler, or Adi Das. Fast forward to the present day, Adidas likes to play down their history before the end of World War II, and in the modern era, there doesn't seem to be any hint of anti-Semitism coming from the company. They even sponsored the Jerusalem Marathon, which led to boycotts from several Arab groups. But Kanye's actions drew attention to Adidas's Nazi beginnings, and they probably would have cut ties sooner if it wasn't for the fact that the Yeezy line was bringing in about $2 billion a year in revenue by that point, up to 10% of the company's total sales. When Adidas finally pulled the plug, they were left with over $500 million worth of unsold sneakers, with the Yeezy logo all over them. This added to their existing financial problems caused by pulling out of Russia because of the Ukraine war and a slowdown in China due to lockdowns. And that could be why we are starting to hear rumors that Adidas and Kanye may be working out a deal. Adidas had its debt rating slashed when the company's revenue was predicted to be $1.3 billion lower due to cutting ties with Ye. They're now facing a $740 million operating loss for 2023. Adidas has already confirmed that it plans to continue selling the Yeezy designs that it owns the rights to without the Yeezy branding. But now rumors are swirling on the internet that Adidas and Kanye have reached a deal to sell the remaining $500 million worth of Yeezy sneakers. If true, it would no doubt signal a big payday for Kanye, who really needs it. He's now an ex-billionaire and even had to halt renovations on his $57 million Malibu house due to financial problems. And the sneakers could no doubt be sold for a big markup, since they will in theory be the last ever Yeezy-branded Adidas sneakers. However, so far, this rumor has not been confirmed or denied by either Adidas or Kanye. But it does make financial sense, even if it doesn't make any other kind of sense. But what do you think? Would this be an understandable move by Adidas to raise much-needed funds? Or would it be dirty money? Let us know in the comments below, and please subscribe for new financial mini documentaries every Monday and Thursday.